Our next speaker is the founding director of the Georgia Tech Center for Music Technology. His interests lie in robotic musicianship, new instruments, mobile music, and sonification. His music has been featured in festivals and concerts all over the world. I present to you Gil Weinberg.
Thank you. I want to thank everyone involved in inviting me here. This is very exciting, and I want to show you some of the research about the future, or one possible future of jazz as I see it. So I work on robotic musicians, and the idea of robotic musicianship is to develop robots that listen like humans, but play like machines. And we are trying to have robots that will inspire us, that will create new ideas in our head. It's a lot about communication. It's a lot about listening and responding. And I will address in a second the question, will robots replace us? And I think they will not. I think they will inspire us and will enhance us. This is one of the first robots that we developed, and we just heard about Israel. This is a concert from Israel, where Arabs and Israelis play together with a robot as facilitator, listening to them, understanding music like humans, but then improvising and creating new ideas based on algorithms that humans will never come up with. I'll show you some examples. And by the way, look at the darbuka player who just met Hailey, the robot, that morning, the first time that he heard how he responds to his music. You heard in the beginning is call and response. We talked about call and response, something very important in jazz, but then the robot listened to everything and morphed between one rhythm from here and one pitch from there and creating something new. We then moved to something that actually can play, a new robot that can play pitch and can understand harmony and melody. And it also has a head, so it can groove with you and move with you. It understands a beat, and it can look at you to facilitate turn-taking, all of the great stuff that we all know and appreciate in jazz. Let me show you a short clip of how, similar to the first clip, I play, Shimon the robot listens, and then come up with new ideas that hopefully will inspire me. Sometimes it's similar, sometimes it's a little different. Now I give it a beat. It detects a beat. Now Mason Breton, my student, is improvising. It listens to it, so it looks at Mason just to make sure that we are all together. And now, based on what I played, it will come up with its own ideas. That's the beat that I gave. It's in D. And now it starts to play ideas that both me, Mason, and the drummer are responding to. Here's another example where we gave the robot chord progression. We taught him all of the rules of jazz based on machine learning and rules, and then it just improvises based on the chords that I'm playing on piano. And the small robots dance with it, of course, detect the beat. And of course, we talked about some adversarial interaction. Here it sounds more like a duel between two drummers. One drummer is a human, one is Shimon, who is a percussionist. But then see how together they come up with something out of this back and forth, a little contentious, but enough to create maybe democracy, peace, and harmony. That's part of democracy. I think the most exciting, or one of the most exciting approaches is when robots and humans merge together to create cyborgs. This is Jason Barnes. He's an amputee drummer that saw some of my robots online and told me that he lost his arm in an accident. It was about 6 years ago. He was devastated, and he asked if we can build him an arm that will allow him to play again. So, of course, we developed an arm for him, but I said, how about we push the envelope? It will have 2 sticks. One stick responds to your muscle movement. The other is a stick with a mind of its own that can improvise and inspire you. Your own body is kind of interacting with you and creating responses. And, of course, if we're going there, let's make it play like no human can. Each stick plays 20 hits per second, much faster than any human. So together it's 40. Let's see what we can do with this. Let's see how technology and robots... I'm sorry, but... And imagine what happens when one stick plays 20 hertz, the other 19 hertz, together create polyrhythms and all kind of unique and interesting ideas that can inspire you. I think the last video I will show is when a different human, Andrew, the guitar player here, actually control one of the sticks. So now not only the stick listens to the music and improvises and Jason controls the other stick, we have a different human interacting, connecting, creating new ideas, basically in a very strange and kind of intimate way, controlling Jason's own arm and see how he responds with that. And I think he did pretty well. He's definitely a much better drummer today, partly because he practiced, but we believe that's partly because of the technology. So I will end with that. Every chord from Andrew, the guitar player, changes the speed of the drum. Thank you very much.